86's Monster Mash!
An American Werewolf in London. Welcome back to more Monster Mash, folks. Tonight, we're going to review / talk about one of my favorite werewolf movies of all time besides The Wolfman. The 1980s, especially 1981, was a huge year for werewolf flicks. You had The Howling came out, Wolfen, and then the movie that we're talking about tonight, An American Werewolf in London. The movie's directed by John Landis. He was very well known for Animal House and the Blues Brothers. The story is basically about this guy named David and his friend Jack at first. And they're out hiking when all of a sudden they get attacked by this huge werewolf. Jack gets brutally mauled by the wolf, and David gets scratched on his face and literally barely survives. And so he's rushed to a hospital in London, barely escaping his demise from the wolf. Okay, so David keeps having these reoccurring, weird, creepy nightmares, I guess. And the dreams are actually really freaky. They're actually shocking. You know, it's actually kind of scary. But the thing is like, it's like a dream within a dream. Like, he thinks he's awake, but he's still inside the dream, if that makes any sense. David's friend Jack, in the very beginning of the film, was brutally murdered by the werewolf. And after he's transported to the hospital and he's having all these crazy nightmares, he starts to see the ghost of his dead friend Jack. And the first thing Jack says to him is he asks him for a piece of toast or something. And Jack reveals to him and tells him that he got bit by a werewolf, and he will become a werewolf every night that there's a full moon. So after David's discharged, I guess, he's still in London, so it's not like he's in the States and he really has anywhere to go. Like, it's not like he can just go home. He goes home with this sexy nurse, and then out of nowhere, it just cuts to a scene where they're having sex in the shower. It's like, okay, what the fuck? One of my most favorite scenes in probably any horror film ever is the scene where David's just pacing around the living room and he starts to feel really weird. And it's almost like he feels like he can feel himself starting to turn into the werewolf. The song Bad Moon Rising by Creedence Clearwater Revival, or CCR, whatever you want to call them, is playing in the background. All the while, David is like painfully transforming into a werewolf. And when I say painfully, it literally looks like the dude is in like massive pain while he's turning into this beast. The werewolf special effects, like the transformation effects, top of the notch. Probably the best I've ever seen. Probably the best werewolf transformation I've ever seen in my life. Rick Baker was the guy that did the special effects for the transformation. I'm pretty sure he did the special effects for the entire film, but he got an Academy Award for his work in this film. Pretty badass. Okay, so there was a sequel to it, or sorta sequel to it, in the 90s called An American Werewolf in Paris. Personally, I didn't really care for it too much. I thought it was actually kind of shitty. The effects weren't nearly as good or as groundbreaking or breathtaking to me as they were in American Werewolf in London, but it's not like we're ever gonna get a werewolf transformation like that ever again. The effects in the sequel were CGI. It was just a big mess. Scott86, I highly, definitely recommend you guys check this film out. An American Werewolf in London. The 1981 John Landis cult horror classic. It's definitely worth a watch. Check it out, you guys. It's a howling good time. I'll see y'all on the next episode of Monster Mash. Ow!
You took the long